21st century medicine is advancing at a blinding pace. But many doctors are the first to admit they don't have all the answers. For every modern miracle cure, there can also be a traditional home remedy, a herbal alternative, or an ancient therapy people swear by. Many of these treatments have been handed down the generations. But how many of them actually work?
Hello. Step into my office, Stevie.
Thank you.
I'm Jan Fran.
Why do you think it works?
And in this new series, we meet the everyday Australians who claim their homespun health cures work miracles.
What do you got? Plain yogurt or dandruff?
It is hemp kombucha.
Breastfeeding enhancing smoothie.
The most promising treatments will be scientifically trialled by an independent research team.
All right, good luck.
Thank you so much.
But first, they have to convince our team of medical experts.
This could be life-changing for the health of Australians.
Journalist and doctor Ginny Mansberg,
I'm trying to fight my science brain, I really am.
medical research specialist Professor Ash Hake,
I just have to make a confession. I'm a convert.
and groundbreaking neurosurgeon Dr. Charlie Teo.
Everyone thinks of medicine as being black and white, that we have the answers to everything. It's not true. In fact, many of these alternative treatments may be the answer that we've been searching for decades.
It cures a cough and it's a beer.
Yeah.
With diverse remedies,
I'm a laughter researcher.
I make my own deodorant.
I believe I've discovered a cure for baldness.
Boldness?
Yeah.
from the traditional
My grandfather passed down to my father, and I was passing on to me.
This is a Peruvian smell. You probably feel
I've
that.
smelt that before.
to the controversial.
Drink it, and you should be cured.
Cured.
Cured. This saved my vagina.
You're what?
And extreme.
It's maggot tea.
No.
No way is that going up mud.
Oh, my God.
The pressure is on to decide
That tastes great.
which treatments are worthy of a real-world scientific trial.
Asha, I'm going to completely disagree with you here. I think this is everything that this show is about.
This is Medicine or Myth. Put under scrutiny this week,
My remedy is?
an unconventional approach to period pain.
I'm still a little bit shocked, I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure what question to ask.
Extreme heat for the common cold.
I'm a doctor and I'm sitting here, I'm holding it together, just.
A cure for asthma with side effects.
It's like the Viagra of the sea.
First up, Chris and Kathy have an unpalatable solution for a very common problem.
Something which is going to be a bit unusual. You're probably going to go, ooh, no, I don't like that.
No, have you got a cold sore on there today?
But it's worked wonders for me over the years. If you suffer from cold sores, which I was as a young teenager, it's a very horrible sort of situation to be in because you're just out there. You can't hide it. In fact, if it gets a trial, it will give that level of credibility. Whereas right now, we sort of get laughed at. Exciting. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Chris. This is my wife, Kathy.
And we have a remedy that stops cold sores in their tracks. Absolutely.
Excellent.
So simply, it's something you carry around with you every day. Not necessarily the cotton wool bud, but the cotton wool bud is just the delivery mechanism. So yeah, no great magic, but just into the ear. Just very gently.
cheap.
Gently into the ear.
No.
Just twirl it around, so not deep, just to get a little bit of, excretion, a little bit of earwax.
Earwax.
And then I take the
Jenny's feeling very uncomfortable.
then I take the earwax and just gently and just roll it over the cold sore and no more cold sore.
All gone. Okay, so can we have a look at how much is on there?
This is a really good sample.
Yeah, that's earwax, all right. That's a good sandwich.
You look really worried. I'm just on so many levels. I'm trying to cope. I don't kiss him when he's got it on that way. So glad. Yeah, because that's... And the trick is you can't use mine.
Right. It's
So you
gotta
can't
be...
use, yes.
Why? Have you tried that?
Well, yeah, and it didn't work. So you have to use your own.
Hang on. You thought we were grossed out initially?
It's just getting worse.
You ran out of your own earwax.
He ran out of his own earwax.
I thought I had. And,
Can you run out of earwax?
No.
You know the Chinese don't have earwax. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, you need to address about 90% of the Chinese population. The gene that codes for earwax is the same gene that codes for acrine glands under the armpit. That's why Chinese don't sweat under their armpits and we don't have earwax.
Well, this isn't going to work for you then.
No, it's not going to work for me.
At all.
No.
Around 80% of Australian adults are infected with the virus that causes cold sores. It spreads between people through contact with saliva or the blister itself.
Can you tell us a little bit of the impact having cold sores?
So I used to get cold sores a lot when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
So through my teens, 20s and 30s, and they're incredibly embarrassing and shameful in a way because you're wearing it out there for the whole world to see. So when we ran across this, it was, my reaction was the same.
How did you run across something like that?
So we're both medicinal nutritionists, and in my research, I came across this home remedy for cold sores.
And I went, oh no, I'm not going to do that.
Not in public.
Well, then...
At least.
But then,
Not in private either,
But then I didn't have any ointment at home. I just went, oh, well, OK, and did it sort of twice a day. And within about probably 4 days, it had resolved itself.
So do you have any idea as to how it might be working?
Oh, look, I think there's probably a lot of antiviral elements that are in earwax. That's probably our guess.
So what we use to treat these, interestingly enough, is the ointment that is antiviral. Yeah. And the purpose of earwax is it's a self-cleaner for the ear. And in fact, people who, and this is part of my devastation with this, is that we always, doctors say, don't put any cotton buds in your ears.
You should never put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear.
Because in fact the earwax is so vitally important to protect your ear. I don't think it matters how much you get it. Maybe it's just the oil and the moisture around that area that has got those antiviral properties in it. So it's only that small film that we see that you need.
Could it be that you don't really need the cotton bud to go that far in?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I'm hugely sceptical, but maybe there's something we don't know about earwax and it has an antiviral property. So should it be something that we trial?
So as grossed out by this as I am, the scientist in me is desperate to know what is going on with earwax. Yeah, good.
The only thing about a trial is that your cold sores can stay around for weeks sometimes, and sometimes only for a day or two anyway, even without treatment.
And we need to have a dose and a schedule. Like we need to say put it on 3 times a day for a week.
Plus, there are also variables in terms of how much, the type of earwax, and I mean, I don't know. Look, I would love to see it go to trial, but logistically, it may just be too difficult.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we wouldn't be able to run a trial on this one.
Best of luck to you on every level.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
While there are plenty of treatments available, there is no cure for the cold sore. So it's little wonder some will try anything to be rid of them. Chris may well have stumbled upon the holy grail for the 500,000 cancer patients who are treated with chemotherapy in Australia each year.
When we started our farm, we introduced a miracle fruit tree. The name does raise eyebrows. People think it's some hocus-pocus cure. So we say it's Encephalum dulcificum, which is a botanical name. It still confounds them. We found that this tree had a glycoprotein which made anything sour taste sweet. So miracle fruit can alleviate dysgeusia.
Dysgeusia is a common side effect of chemotherapy. It causes a distortion of the sense of taste.
People who have dysgeusia can't eat. Food tastes terrible. A really bland taste or a metallic taste, like eating grandma's old spoons. By having miracle fruit, they're able to enjoy their food. And if these go to trial, it'll be incredibly satisfying knowing that every berry has the potential of helping people.
Lovely to see you.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I have miracle fruit today, which originally come from Africa, and they have a taste-modifying property. So If you were to eat one of these berries or anything sour or acidic, tastes incredibly sweet.
Oh, OK, so the miracle was its sweetening qualities.
Exactly.
Can we just see one there?
Certainly. Well, look, I'd like you to try them. This one, you just
Thank you very
basically... Thank you. You basically suck the skin off and suck the pulp.
So, and let's get it right. Any sort of bad taste, such as metallic taste or a sour, bitter taste, this will mask it.
Yep.
It sounds perfect when you're in an awkward social situation and you have to try someone's food that you don't particularly like, and you drag out one of these,
Even better.
pop it into your mouth, and you can carry on.
But the deeper thing, the more beneficial thing, is to help people with dysgeusia, which is a taste issue, to allow them to eat.
You see, as a cancer specialist, a lot of my patients on chemotherapy get that terrible metallic taste, and it'd be great for them.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started.
1 in 2 Australians will be diagnosed with cancer by the age of 85. The most common side effect of chemotherapy is dysgeusia, where the bitter, sour, salty or sweet receptors on the tongue don't work as they should.
Cheers.
If these berries really do have the dramatic effect on taste that Chris claims, this could be a life-altering remedy.
OK, here we go.
It tastes like, like lemonade.
Lemonade.
Yeah.
Chris.
Wow.
That's quite surprising.
I mean, it's still tingly in that, but not sour.
It really, really works. That is remarkable. Right, well, it's purely molecular, right? There's a protein that has bound to a receptor. It's triggered a response.
I'm sorry.
It's triggered a response.
Oh, my God, the passion fruit.
Passion fruit, my favourite, yeah.
Oh.
Really? I better give it a go.
Oh, give it a go. Oh, Chris.
You're sold?
I am,
You want one of these miracle berry trees in your garden.
The trouble is, I can see you getting addicted to one. I can see you getting addicted to it.
Weight gain could be a real issue, right?
Yeah.
I reckon it's ticking quite a lot of boxes because the need is there. We have nothing else that compares. I absolutely love this for a trial. I can almost picture it. What do you think?
I'm blown away. I can see nothing but good things coming out of this because many of these cancer patients, because of the terrible taste in their mouth, won't eat. And because they won't eat, they lose strength and nutrition. And so arguably something like this could not only have a quality of life benefit, but also a quantity of life benefit.
Certainly.
I mean,
A yes from me.
it's a definite yes, yeah.
It's a yes from me as well.
So, Chris, it looks like it's a unanimous decision. I think we'll go to trial.
Great news. We can help a lot of people.
Fantastic, thank you.
Bye.
Next up, Barbara presents a remedy from the rainforest.
Hi. Lovely to meet you. I'm Jan.
I'm Barbara.
What do you got for us?
Your lunch.
My lunch.
Sorry, I've got charcoal.
Yeah, I'm going to decline that one as a lunch option, but tell me what this charcoal is a remedy for.
Charcoal absorbs poisons. Adsorb, which is different to absorb, means that it binds the molecules of the poisons to the surface area of the charcoal.
Right.
So you can use it for bee stings, spider bites, ant bites, snake bites, wasp bites, but also in...
Human bites, all sorts of bites.
Yeah, they're not usually poisonous.
Yeah, that's true. What do you reckon the panel of experts are going to say about charcoal?
I think they'll be interested. It's because you've got nothing to lose. It's as safe as water.
Yeah. All right. I'm very curious to see what our panel is going to say about this charcoal. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. I would love it to go to trial because it's quite possible that it'll save a life. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Barbara.
Lovely to meet you. What do you have there?
Charcoal.
Oh, lovely. Tell us where you came across that remedy.
Many years ago, I lived in a rainforest and I began to investigate on home remedies. And I met an old lady and she told me that charcoal can be used to adsorb poisons. So it can be used on bee stings, ant bites, spider bites, snake bites, things like this.
I understand how charcoal absorbs poisons. I mean, I can understand how it does it when you swallow it, and it's directly exposed to the charcoal. But, you know, the puncture wound from a spider bite is so small, I just can't imagine the poison being absorbed by the charcoal.
But you would also be aware that the skin can absorb, it can throw off waste, and it can breathe. And I have a story. My eldest daughter, when she was 15, she got a funnel web spider bite.
Gosh.
And there actually were about 6 bites. And so we immediately got charcoal, and I mixed it together in a paste and made a poultice and put it on her arm. And we prayed that God would please bless this poultice.
So I'm going to lay my cards on the table and say, as a doctor, I really freak out at the idea of not going out to get antivenin straight away. Because, I mean, I think an ant bite's one thing, but a potentially fatal native Australian spider.
That's true.
With your little girl.
We had no car. I rang the neighbour, and he was a registered nurse, and he had a bite, and he came straight over and he did the wrapping of the arm, and she never got worse. So she did not need the antivenin. So we were pretty sure that it was the charcoal that had absorbed the poisons.
It might be interesting how you make that. Can you just show us
Well,
how
let
you
me finish
make
that
the,
story,
poultice?
and that's why I say to people, have charcoal, apply it immediately, and yeah, be checked out if you need to.
On average, 3,500 Australians are admitted to hospital every year for a venom-related injury.
So this is ground flaxseed, and this is the charcoal.
But you don't think the flaxseed has anything to do with it, or do you?
It is reported to draw as well, but I'm really using it as a binder.
Right.
Takes a little bit to get it in. And I'm also a housewife, and I am cautious of my sheets. I don't want charcoal to go everywhere, but can you see that sort of lacquered paste now?
Yeah, but when someone's dying from a snake bite...
You're a bit quicker.
Yeah, you're a bit quicker. I mean, you don't really worry about the aesthetics of it, I'm sure.
No, you don't. In fact, my son brought his new girlfriend up to the rainforest, and a bull ant bit her. And always in the Australian bush, you've got burnt trees. So I just ran over, I grabbed a bit of bark, I chewed it, crunched it, and then spat it out and put that straight on the wound.
Yeah.
And that will work. I think she might have thought her boyfriend's mother was a crazy woman, but it worked. And then I would just bandage that on.
Well, my scepticism is, how does the charcoal absorb the poison through the skin? The poison goes into the lymphatic system immediately, hence the wrapping.
Yes.
If it was in the skin, I would understand it, but it's not in the skin, it's actually in the lymphatic system.
Yeah. I have a friend, and she's a medical doctor, and her son got a brown snake bite, and she immediately poulticed that. And the boy did not need the antivenin, and the doctor was so intrigued, he tested the poultice, and it had the poison in it.
Poison in the poultice?
Yeah.
So it really seems like when there are situations where the poison is kept primarily as a depot in one part of the skin, and if you're lucky with the timing and it hasn't progressed to the whole body, it may well be that the charcoal might just be able to absorb the poison that's in that depot. Do you think that that's how it might be, how it might work?
No. I'm sorry, Ash. I just... Look, I just don't... I cannot logically, rationally understand how the poison, which goes deep from the fangs and gets absorbed immediately into the lymphatic system, gets then sucked back out through the puncture wound and into the charcoal. I just don't understand. I think it's not the sort of remedy that could go to trial. The number of people that you could use it on is very limited as well.
Okay.
Thank you
very much.
I think in the situation of spider bites, time is money. We don't muck around going and finding a dead tree. We don't muck around finding and making the ingredients for a poultice. We just get people to hospital. We call an ambulance.
Yeah. So is there a recommendation not to try and suck out poison? Is that that's never been part of the survivalists' method?
Totally an odd wives' tale, yeah. Because as Charlie was saying,
the
it's
puncture wound
injected into
closes.
the body.
Right. Yeah. The puncture wound is so fine, the poison gets injected in, the puncture wound closes. There's no use in sucking it out.
Right.
And that's why I can't imagine how charcoal can suck it out.
Earlier, Chris's miracle berries had Charlie excited about the potential to help chemotherapy patients suffering from dysgeusia.
As a cancer specialist, a lot of my patients on chemotherapy get that terrible metallic taste, and it'd be great for them.
Certainly.
And I think we'll go to trial.
To put each remedy to the test, we've enlisted an independent scientific team to conduct clinical research, collecting data from carefully selected patients who trial the remedy. This clinical trial is being run by the National Institute of Complementary Medicine.
It's very close to my heart, and I'm very, very excited to get the trial running. Here we go.
Dr. Suzanne Grant is in charge.
Mwah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Can you tell me how this miracle berry trial is going to run?
So what we're going to do is we're going to give the participants some berries, and they're going to have one berry 15 minutes before each of their meals, so 3 times a day for 7 days. And then we're going to get them to come back in and see if there's been any change.
Great.
Each trial participant has had their taste severely compromised by chemotherapy.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Jack's skin cancer robbed him of a sense of taste.
You finished your chemotherapy more than a year ago, and yet you still have this terrible taste problem.
I have the metallic taste. Wow. Water, coffee, tastes like oil.
Karina was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 months ago. She's currently having chemotherapy.
Everything tasted like cardboard or like the bottom of a slimy bucket.
Mary's tonsil cancer spread to her lungs. After 2 bouts of chemotherapy, she's now in remission, but her sense of taste remains altered.
So there were foods I just stopped eating because they tasted awful each and every time. So food's not necessarily a pleasurable event.
That's so sad.
All our participants are hoping the berries will make a difference to their quality of life.
We're going to test your taste to set the baseline of what your actual taste is right now.
Nothing.
Strongly sour.
Must be bitter.
Bitter.
Here's the berries themselves, and just remember that it's 1 berry before each meal.
Sounds good, thank you very much. Look forward to trying them and reporting back.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Coming up, a woman who claims to heal herself with menstrual blood.
It instantly does something to me.
I'm still a little bit shocked.
And is cabbage the answer to acne?
You put the sauerkraut
on my face, yeah.
You're not eating it?
No, oh, you can eat it, obviously, it's delicious.
The next remedy to be probed by our panel comes from Beata.
Mój naturalny produkt jest kiszona kapusta zrobiona w domu. This is a picture of me with acne, and I keep it hidden, and I'm not really happy to remember the time. I was around 30, and it made me so depressed because I actually looked horrible, that I didn't want to go out of house. I didn't want to go to work. And then I remembered about my grandma remedy, and since then I never had it back. I would like that if my remedy goes to trial, because it could work for other people too. Hello.
Hi there.
My name is Beata.
Lovely to meet you, Beata. What do you have there?
I have sauerkraut.
Okay.
Really? Wow.
My grandmother used to say, put the sauerkraut on a pimple.
You put the sauerkraut
on my face, yeah.
You're not eating it?
No, oh, you can eat it, obviously, it's delicious.
You have an accent, so you're
from...
from...
I'm originally from Poland. When I arrived to Australia, I was kind of fine. And then in my 30s, I suffered from enormous acne on my face. I was ashamed, I was embarrassed, I was red, inflamed, and my kids were ashamed of me. Mom, don't come to school because you look horrible.
No.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, I don't blame...
Your children told you you looked
horrible. Yeah. And I was on a medicine, which gave me a lot of side effects. And unfortunately, after 3 months, it came back.
I think we really forget the emotional impact of acne.
I mean, I had acne as a teenager. I mean, acne's terrible. It's bad enough for a boy. I can't imagine how bad it must be for a girl.
And in your 30s, it really does sound like what you developed second time around was more rosacea than just straight acne. So you've got the pimples, so you get these really, really red skin, nose, cheeks.
Yes.
The problem is, you know, the cure is worse than the disease.
Yeah.
Acne is caused by inflammation of the hair follicles and usually affects the face, back and chest. Rosacea causes redness and visible blood vessels on the face. It's most common in fair-skinned females.
Okay, Beata, let's see how it's done.
So I use the little tiny laundry bag and I put sauerkraut inside. I prefer to do my own because I know what I put in. It took about 2 weeks to ferment.
Okay.
So you put
So
it
who's
in
going to try this out?
Sorry?
No, Beata's going to try.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would do. So,
I've still got a few little pimples. I mean,
oh, okay.
Haven't tried.
I find myself a comfortable place. Lean back and I relax, and it is so beautiful and moist and soothing.
No tingling,
No
burning.
tingling, nothing.
And how quickly would you expect that to start getting better?
After the very first time, kind of inflammation went down. The redness is still there, but it's not that prominent. After 6 months, I actually had no acne.
Wow.
And I discovered a new life. I simply started thinking that I'm not ugly and I can actually go out and...
So can I get one thing clear, though? It took 6 months for the acne to
entirely
completely disappear,
completely disappear.
but you have an immediate change as soon as you put it on your face.
Yes, immediate change in a way that the inflammation and redness was less.
Are there any microorganisms
It's
in
plenty.
this? So it's a fermentation
It is.
process.
It's a full of probiotics,
Yeah.
full of vitamins. There is vitamin C predominantly.
Right.
There is lots of vitamin A,
Yeah.
and it is very beneficial for you.
I love the fact that you immediately focused on the bacterial content of sauerkraut, because the bacterial imbalance, not only in our gut but in our skin, is very instrumental in causing disease.
Yes, exactly right.
And as you say, vitamin A and vitamin C are essential both for your acne and your rosacea, but also anti-aging. And it's interesting, as you walk down the stairs, I couldn't help notice how beautiful your skin is.
Oh, thank you very much.
And the fact that you have ever had a debilitating skin condition is amazing to me. Your skin is beautiful. And
Well, thank you very much. I'm about 60.
I think everybody wants to look
Oh
like
my
you,
gosh,
whether or
thank you.
not they have rosacea or acne.
So what do you think, you guys?
Oh, definitely want to see a trial on this. If this could benefit anybody half as much as it's benefited Beata, I think we'd have a whole lot less depression.
And we have an immediate cohort of patients who'd be
Totally.
willing to try it. I think it's a good trial.
Yeah.
I'm in favour. I think it's the sort of thing that's got some possible
Love
merit.
it. Love it, Ash. Beata, love it.
Thank you very
Sauerkraut.
much.
Place
I'll see you
topical.
on the other side.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Beata.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Thank you.
Lovely.
So let's hope that what we see is a whole lot of happy people at the end of this trial process
Oh, my
that
goodness.
have had their lives changed for the better.
Yeah, I love it.
To put Beata's sauerkraut remedy to the test, we've enlisted an independent scientific team to conduct research on carefully selected patients from across Australia. They're collecting data from a group who are desperate to be rid of their acne. As part of the trial, the patients will use sauerkraut twice a week for 2 weeks. University student Amaris has experienced the discomfort of acne since adolescence.
It becomes really red, some of them hurt, and I feel like I am not as pretty as other girls who have very clear skin. That make me feel inferior.
As an aspiring actor, Callum has found the ailment impacts his career.
Every day I'd have a new pimple. It'd be coming up, bang, 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 everywhere. It's like an army of pimples. Sometimes I will lose a job because, you're good for the role, but yeah, pimples.
Airport worker Bianca has been isolated by the condition.
Sometimes I won't even go out to certain events or family barbecues. I just feel like everyone's looking at my pizza face.
All our study participants are hoping for the drastically clearer skin experienced by Beata.
Apparently, You put it in your wash bag. I haven't had a good success rate with other products, and I would love to find something that works.
I'm very sceptical, but I'll try to keep an open mind.
It is quite an alternative way of doing it. Recommend showering after this. But if this solves my acne problem, I'll be thanking a jar of sauerkraut in my future Oscar speech.
It's not a good start for Bianca. She's had a bad reaction.
As you can see, it's made my skin quite red and blotchy, and it actually looks worse than what it was before. Don't think this would be something that I would be happy putting on my face.
Yet the results are encouraging for nurse and new mum Jane.
The number of spots that I have has decreased. Definitely a noticeable difference, which has been awesome.
We'll have to wait until the end of the study to find out whether sauerkraut gets the scientific tick of approval. When Davey was a child, he was plagued with asthma. But a journey back to Vietnam as a young adult persuaded him to try an unusual remedy.
You've got a fancy box.
Yes, I do.
What is inside of this fancy box?
Seahorses. How good is that, eh?
Seahorses.
Actual seahorses.
Can I grab
Yeah,
one?
you want to touch one? Go for it.
I'm freaking out.
Don't we?
No, okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow.
How cute is that, eh?
What is this a remedy for?
It actually cured my asthma.
Really?
Yes, yes.
How so?
Well, this is like a very old traditional medicine. This was kind of passed down from generation to generation.
Okay, so it's something your parents did and their parents did.
That's correct. So it's been around for 2,500 years, you know, and I swear by it.
Well, I'm going to put this back very, very
you.
gently.
Thank you.
Good luck.
See you there.
See ya.
Howdy, how are you?
Hey.
Very good.
My name is David Nguyen. I'm from Vietnam. And these little things here is what actually cured my asthma.
Oh, my God.
Seahorses.
Is that for real?
Yeah, yeah. There's a story to that. I fled Vietnam when I was 8 years old to Australia with my uncle and auntie. So 10 years later, I go back home. The funny thing was I was using a blue asthma puffer. And my dad was like, son, what are you using? What's that crazy drugs you're using? So I explained to him that it's an asthma spray. And then the next day he came back because I've got these 2 seahorses for you. And that will definitely help you with your asthma.
Can I go back, David,
Sure.
to the asthma that you had
Yeah.
as a child? Because, you know, Australia, we have a lot of asthma here.
Yeah.
Asthma itself is a combination of the airways going
Yeah.
into spasm. So there are muscles that surround each of the airways. And when the muscles go into spasm, they tighten the airways, making air very difficult to go in
Yeah.
and out. So the blue puffer relaxes the muscles
Yeah.
and opens up the airways.
I use that a lot.
So that's poor asthma control. It
Yeah.
sounds like we never really got on top of your asthma.
Yeah.
Around 2.5 million Australians have asthma, but only 1.5 million are estimated to have their asthma under control.
Would you like me to chuck a seahorse on a barbecue?
Well, so look, I am ethically against the slaughter of living beings for our betterment.
Okay. These are farm seahorses. So in Vietnam, in South Korea, and some part in China, they are starting to farm seahorses purely for medicine.
Well, I'm certainly very hungry, and
I like that.
And you know, this wasn't the barbecue that I was thinking about, but you know what? Why not?
So you need to actually make sure that one of the seahorses is actually a male seahorse and the other one's going to be a female seahorse.
How does that help?
It's got something to do with the fatty acid within the male and the female combining it together, and that is the potent molecules that actually cure my asthma. I never need to use asthma medication, or my stamina is actually increased. My endurance is much better. And the funny thing was that when I went back to Australia, I was always bloody horny. And I couldn't explain what that was the case, you know?
You were 18, David.
Yes, that's right. But I was so active, so horny. But now, after researching, I realised that seahorse is like the Viagra of the sea. They actually use seahorses to increase their sexual drive.
Oh, I think it's due to testosterone, right? They're supposed to be high testosterone in seahorse. I'm seeing a direct link here, right? So some asthma is driven by an inappropriate immune response, and there are certain cells in the lung that are thought to initiate some of the disease. And I think it's actually an Australian study showed that testosterone could be inhibiting the immune cells that are damaging for the lung. So, you know, it could be something there.
It's smelling a lot like a shrimp on the barbie, I've got to say.
All we need now is just a beer to wash it down. Okay, so I'll just grind it. Add a bit of water. Okay, so there you go. So what we have now is a little paste. Do we have a volunteer?
Ash?
I'll give it a small sip.
Yep, okay.
Yes, I'll be brave.
I'll give you like a spoon, like a doctor, you know? Like this. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. All right. I'll feed it to you, all right? Ready?
All right.
Okay.
You're a good man, Ash.
Tell us what it tastes like.
It's not quite like a prawn. I can't feel any of those side effects that you mentioned earlier.
Oh, you talk about the horny side effect. It takes a while, mate. It takes a while.
Okay, I'll just sit tight.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Simple, and then you drink it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, David, thank you very, very much. Look, it's not the sort of thing that we're going to send to trial, I'm sorry. The accessibility of Seahorse for a starter is very limited and would limit the amount of concoctions we could make.
I think my concern as well is that at its worst, poor control of asthma kills, and I want to stick with what we know works.
Okay, no, thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Wild seahorses are a protected species in Australia. Any importation or sale of seahorses requires a permit. 26-year-old Yasmina thinks she's found a remedy to relieve period pain.
So I used to suffer from really bad cramping every month. So I saw doctors and their advice was to go on the pill, and I just didn't want to put an extra hormone in my body. I've been using this remedy now for about 10 months to a year, and my cramping has gone. Hi, my name's Yasmina, and my remedy is menstrual blood.
Oh gosh.
Seriously? Yeah.
Can you just clarify, that's not a prop, that is actually your real blood?
This is not a prop, this is actually my real blood from this cycle.
I'm still a little bit shocked, I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure what question to ask, but...
Okay, so can
no, you lead the way, please,
Ginny.
Ginny.
Leap in?
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
Every month I create a ritual meditation space, and I use the blood in a way to connect, either through putting it on my hand or anointing it on my third eye. I used to get severe cramping every month, and I was introduced to a shamanic womb woman, and she mentioned...
Sorry, what?
A shamanic womb woman. So she mentioned the blood to me, and she mentioned connecting to the blood, even just touching it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to give this a go. And as soon as I started doing that, it was like it had this profound, like, healing effect of, like, I don't need to be shameful about this anymore. Because as women, we are shamed for bleeding. It's a sanitary thing,
Yes, sister.
you know?
You
So
just
it's
said
that's
it.
like
It's
the
so
piece,
true.
yeah?
'Cause,
Well,
like,
you're leaving these brothers out of the conversation.
No, but seriously, you guys saw that
Look,
and freaked out.
Okay, I freaked out, but I understand the spiritual connection. What I don't understand is that it's just the act of collecting it got rid of the symptoms of a painful period.
Yeah, what I found is just by taking that time out to actually be with myself, to meditate, to connect with my body, it's like the pain's gone away.
Around 90% of young Australian women experience period pain, with 25% reporting painkillers provide no relief.
You've got that from a menstrual cup, obviously.
Yeah.
Is that...
Sorry, what's a menstrual cup?
Oh, so if you don't want to use pads and tampons, you can actually use a cup that sits inside the vagina and collects it. Well, it's very popular.
Yeah.
And for me, I quite like it as a doctor because I get to see how much someone bleeds
You can
in an
see
entire...
what's happening
so
in the
that's
body.
an entire period for you?
This has been 3 days.
So that if that's about 50 mils, how much more than that do you reckon you have?
Probably about up to there.
Okay, you need to see a doctor.
Okay.
Because seriously, a normal period is 10 to 60 mils.
Yeah.
And anything more than 80 mils is way too much. And it's not normal uterine bleeding. And the purpose of a period, I think a lot of people have really weird ideas about what a period is. So it's not actually to extract female venom. There is no venom in your uterus. There is no weird female bad energy in your uterus that needs to come out. All it is it's a fresh lining for an incoming baby. So I'm kind of, I guess for me, I'm going off into the tangent of why you needed this in the first place. We should probably go back to the remedy.
This sounds to me about, it's all about the importance of ceremony, right? The ceremony is something that almost makes us human. And so I wonder whether it's really the ceremony that is the remedy.
Yeah.
Yasmina, would you mind demonstrating to us the technique?
Yep. All right, so normally have heaps of cushions. It's just really nice to create a beautiful sacred space.
But this preparation is just as important as the actual ceremony.
Totally. So I put one hand on my heart, one hand on my womb, so I'm connecting those spaces and just breathing into the body.
Part of the ritual is actually touching yourself. Where
Touching
you
the
feel the
womb.
pain.
Yeah,
touching the womb.
touching the womb, connecting them with the womb. Yeah.
There is a theory called the gate theory where you stimulate the skin and it does relieve pain.
Yep.
And so do you think maybe the pain has already started to go just by touching yourself?
I think by bringing the awareness there, yeah. So by doing this, it has relieved the discomfort.
Okay, sorry for disturbing you. Go right ahead now.
Okay. So what I would...
Calm down.
So I would normally connect with the blood, and just by doing that, it instantly does something to me. And then I would also... I've painted my whole face before, so every time it's different.
I have to say, when you came down and put that jar of menstrual blood there, I thought, icky. And now I see everything that you're doing, and you've got so much peace coming off you, and you've converted what was clearly a very distressing physical situation into something really profoundly beautiful.
Like, I just want every woman to feel it, you know? It's like, brings up this, like, it's like I know what women go through. I know that pain, I know that shame. I feel for the women that are struggling with this.
Yeah, I'm grateful that you shared not only the ceremony, but breaking taboos seems to be a really crucial aspect to your remedy. So, you know.
Look, I have 4 daughters, and having experienced and lived with people who get periods, I must say there's never been anything positive about it. So to embrace it like Yasmina has, and to actually almost worship it and connect with it, I can see how it has a very holistic effect on your femininity, your spirituality, and of course your health because of that. But we probably wouldn't be able to run a trial on this one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, it's been very educational for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That was
lovely.
amazing.
Pleasure.
Oh boy, very powerful.
Very.
Coming up, a remedy for cold and flu gets one participant in hot water.
I'm a doctor and I'm sitting here, I'm holding it together, just.
And are Chris's miracle berries really so miraculous?
I was hoping to find the reported active protein. To date, it hasn't been successful.
Earlier in the program, Chris demonstrated the miracle berry as a remedy for dysgeusia, an altered sense of taste.
If you were to eat one of these berries or anything sour or acidic, it tastes incredibly sweet.
And our panel of experts unanimously agreed to conduct a clinical trial.
I'm blown away. I can see nothing but good things coming out of this.
We enlisted a group to test the berries for a week, while the National Institute of Complementary Medicine went to work looking for proof that the miracle berry really can make a difference for cancer patients on chemotherapy.
I'm excited to work on the miracle berry. The potential for this is very significant for chemotherapy sufferers. It could have positive outcomes for their treatments if we can show that it works.
Dr. Mitchell Lowe is analysing berries to see if they contain the active ingredient Chris claims. the taste-altering glycoprotein miraculin. Our participants are almost at the end of the trial, and the proof for them is in the eating.
Really good, I'm happy.
Almost immediately, the coppery taste that I'd had in my mouth for the last 9 months vanished.
All these tastes that I knew had come back. It was just like it was a party going off in my mouth. My mouth exploded.
But developing a tolerance to the berry may be a drawback.
So when I first started, I was getting 3 or 4 hours of normal tasting. Towards the end of the trial, it's going down to about an hour and a half.
And its miracle ingredient is proving elusive.
What I was hoping to find the reported active protein in the berry. To date, hasn't been successful.
We'll have to wait until later in the program to see if science can confirm the berry's miraculous effects. Rory may seem a little underdressed for the occasion, but he's here to turn up the heat on colds and flu.
G'day, Rory.
Hi, Jan.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Take a seat.
Thank you.
I don't want to alarm you, but I think you forgot to put pants on this morning.
Yeah, well, thought we'd go for a fever bath, so...
What is it exactly?
So you use hot water, get it to as hot as you can stand without burning yourself.
Okay.
And you add cayenne and ginger to the bath, which helps to produce a fever, while drinking a tea, such as peppermint.
Okay. It's almost like you're actually sitting in an enormous cup of tea while drinking a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well put. That's exactly what it's like.
What does it actually help cure?
For colds and flus.
How hot do you get the temperature to in the bath?
So somewhere between like 40 to 50 degrees.
That's hot.
Yeah. It does go against most doctors' recommendations.
Okay. Let's see what actual doctors' recommendations are.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, enjoy.
This should go to trial. I think the hot fever bath has got healing benefits. And I'm really passionate about natural medicine and the healing of the mind, the body and the soul.
I'm going to love this already.
Hi there. Hi, my name's Rory. I'm a nurse studying my master's in herbal medicine. And my natural remedy is the hot fever bath. It's used to cure cold and flus. As you can see, we've got the bath here. Basically, we're going to bring about an artificial fever. This is done by using the hot water with cayenne pepper and ginger and drinking peppermint tea. Once you get the patient out of the bath, you want to wrap them loosely with the cold sheet, and so that's going to stimulate your fever to go even a little bit higher.
Rory, I've got to ask, so I'm a doctor and I'm sitting here, I'm holding it together just. I have some concerns with the rapid rise in temperature.
Yeah, you know, the higher your temperature goes, the more chance of having seizures and...
Oh, yeah.
So you can always modify the hydrotherapy. So instead of putting like the cayenne pepper and the ginger in there, we can just make a warm enough bath.
Right. Can I ask, cayenne pepper is really hot, so isn't that really painful on certain parts?
Yeah, for the sensitive areas of your body, like your genitals, your anus, your nipples, you put Vaseline.
OK, Rory, hop in that bath, old son.
I need to put Vaseline on.
Charlie, can you help?
There is a little room back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly being extremely thorough with the Vaseline. You've got to be...
In those parts, you know, they are very sensitive and...
Yeah, let's not rush it.
OK, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
We need some stripper music now.
And we're just encouraging the cayenne pepper and ginger to come out. And you can get down to just neck height.
Yeah.
And just rub it on your skin.
You're going red in the face. Like, I can see you getting hotter.
I'm feeling quite warm, and now's about the time I want to start drinking the peppermint tea.
So, Rory, the tea is to internally warm you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The peppermint, like the spices in the bath, helps create an artificial fever that Rory believes rids the body of toxins.
But you can see the sweating is starting to come now, like it's really warming up.
Keep going, Rory.
And you do, you have to push the person. Like, it becomes intense in here, so much so that I want to get out.
OK, and now you'll need someone to wrap you Towel?
Correct.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. Rightio.
He's an experienced dad, you can tell. He's got people out of the bath before. He's got that dad stance.
Okay. Are you feeling cold at the moment or not?
Well, not cold, but it's cool.
It's soothing.
Yeah, it's quite relaxing, yeah.
So the main remedy here is hyperthermia. It's
Yes.
trying to get the body temperature up to kill cells that are destructive to our body.
Yeah.
Actually, increasingly, we're finding that raising temperature drives more immune cells into the places where our immune responses are really initiated.
It's true. I mean, I've seen patients with cancer who've responded to hypothermia. So I think there is some scientific premise to the destructive nature of high temperature on bad cells. Our only concern as doctors is there's also very good evidence to show that hypothermia is destructive for normal cells.
Clearly, this is an area that needs more scientific exploration. From cold and flu to cancer, I think we need to hone down on one specific, and I'd like someone else to drive the science to work out exactly where the greatest benefit of this hypothermic treatment is.
Yeah, it'd be very difficult to run a trial. But what do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I started off feeling quite positive, actually, about the idea that you might encourage immune cells into a localised area. But now that I've seen it, I have some concerns.
So the bottom line is you don't think it is a trial?
That's right.
Well, thanks very much, Rory. Get back
Thanks
in that
very
dressing
much,
gown.
Rory.
We're getting cold just looking at you.
Sure, I'll get someone untie me.
All right.
Because I'm in a bit of a stranger.
Hypothermia occurs when your body temperature is abnormally high and can be fatal. The elderly, children and pregnant women are particularly vulnerable to heat-related illnesses. Next,
Now, the results? Yes.
the results are in for Chris's miracle berries and Beata's sauerkraut remedy.
She's hanging out to hear these results.
I can feel the tension.
It's time to reveal the results of the remedies our panel put to trial. First up is Beata's sauerkraut.
Hello.
Hi, Hello.
Welcome back.
How are you? Nice to see you again.
So, Beata, you brought us the sauerkraut, which is your treatment for acne.
Yes. I lean back, relax, and it is so beautiful and moist and soothing. After 6 months, I actually had no acne.
Wow. Okay, well,
She's hanging out to hear these results.
I can feel the tension.
there is tension. The trial consisted of participants and applying sauerkraut to their face twice a week for 2 weeks.
Right.
Now, the results? 37% of people in the study did not experience any improvement whatsoever, but 37% of patients reported moderate improvement.
Right. Very good.
On another positive note, 26% of patients noticed some reduction in the redness and the number of breakouts.
That's pleasing, actually, because given only 2 treatments a week, which I did every day, and for much longer than 2 weeks, I done it for about 3 months or even more. That 26% is actually very promising.
I think we see in science these days is we try and lump everything together and say there's one treatment for all forms of acne. And if we can work out which acne responds to which kinds of treatment, we can be more specific in targeting who will benefit from the sauerkraut.
It's potentially the case that maybe some individuals had acne similar to yours, and so therefore they saw some benefit from your remedy, and for certain people it really didn't work at all. It'd be interesting to know what the microbial composition of your sauerkraut is. There's a possibility that it might alter some of those microorganisms on the face for some individuals who have the right type of acne.
And I agree, Ash. I'm wondering whether the combination of maybe some bacteria, the acid in the sauerkraut, but also some vitamin C from the cabbage itself, if those 3 in combination worked for that subset of people.
And maybe it is a matter of time. 2 weeks is rather short, and who knows, if people are patient, maybe some better outcome can be achieved.
Well, Beata, we're very, very appreciative of you drawing it to our attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beata. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I still believe in my remedy. It worked on me and might work if they use it for longer time.
Next, it's Chris's miracle berries.
If
If you were to eat one of these berries or anything sour or acidic, it tastes incredibly sweet.
Our panel was stunned when they first tried them.
I'm blown away.
And the good news is, further testing has confirmed the berries do contain the active ingredient Chris claimed was the key to their effectiveness.
When we broke this protein down, we're able to identify the individual components and then reconstruct it. Now, we're reasonably confident that we've got the miraculin, which is the active protein.
And now Chris is about to discover if the berries really do work on patients with dysgeusia.
Chris?
Hi there.
Hi again. Lovely to see you.
You too.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, the results?
Yes.
Pretty fascinating. 100% of patients reported an improvement in their dysgeusia after taking the miracle berry.
Wow.
All patients claimed that they had an improvement in quality of life.
Fantastic, yeah.
So overall, the study is very, very positive.
Well, if you could continue on your treatment and not be taken off halfway because of lack of nutrition, say,
Yeah.
how positive can that be in your life?
Yeah.
I think it has applications beyond just people on chemotherapy. I think it has applications to people who are on the 250 medications that we know cause dysgeusia.
Yeah, so there's going to be a very big population that will benefit from this.
Although one issue, I think, was that even over the course of a relatively short study, the participants sometimes reported that the effect was wearing off.
Oh, yeah.
Is it possible that these berries deteriorated over time?
I think you may be right, Ashley, because the ones we're seeing to you were frozen at one point because the glycoprotein will break down in 2 days. The only way for these berries to last is by freeze drying.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So there really is so much more to learn here, Chris. It's the start of a very interesting journey and hopefully one with a very positive ending.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done, Chris.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. This is just more evidence that the miracle berry works and it's going to help a lot of lives.
Next time on Medicine or Myth.
Take it off, Peter, so she can have a good old sniff.
Body odour that no longer clears the room.
That's really quite impressive. I don't know if you guys
Very
want
impressive.
to verify that.
I personally don't want to verify it.
And a remedy to enhance women's libido.
You want some? Yeah, like I want to take the whole thing.
Gets our panel hot under the collar.
It's not a clinical trial, I don't think.
I've got to push you on that one, Charlie.
This program provides general information only and does not recommend or endorse any particular treatment. It is not intended to replace the advice provided by your own doctor or medical or health professional.